Hey, it's Brett and Coach here, and today I am at Goose Island Brew Pub for dinner and drinks. So let's jump right in to explore the tap room and see where the night takes us. And keep watching to see what made me say this. This actually caught me by surprise. I didn't expect to like this one at all. I'd give that a 7.5. So a little bit of information about Goose Island. They were established in 1988 as a small little brewery, but then moved to a larger location in the later 90s to really up production. They've had a couple of different tap rooms throughout Chicago that keeps moving around. The previous one that I went to was in Lincoln Park. Now they moved essentially just across the river to the Salt Shed. And in 2015, Goose Island was sold to Anheuser-Busch to become a part of their conglomerate, but they are still Chicago-based to this day. They are probably the biggest and most well-known brewery that I've went to in Chicago for sure, and they are the largest brewery in all of Illinois. Brian and I are thinking that we're gonna get a couple of small pours each. Hopefully they are taster sizes or like flight sizes, so we can really get a deep breadth of what Goose Island has to offer. Most likely we will do their new and rotating stuff, just because we have had their always on tap flagship stuff before, but let's branch out and try what we can. Goose Island is very busy tonight. Almost every table is filled, but we did walk in, no reservation and had no wait. We were immediately sat, but I do believe that they've recently just started taking reservations. So check out their website that I will put in the description if you want to book a reservation and come here yourself. And a quick peek at the menu. The front has just like a quick bites menu if you would like. The back has the full menu with snacks, handhelds, entrees, other stuff. I'm gonna opt for a handheld option tonight, but let's head into our taste test. This is our little flight that we made. We were able to order multiple little ones, so that was great to hear. To start off, we're gonna do Linet's Red, which is an Irish red ale at 5% ABV. It doesn't have the strongest flavor. It does come through as an ale pretty well. I wouldn't say it's my favorite ale I've ever had, but it is still pretty palatable. I would give it a 5. Next is Pucker Up, which is what I'm looking for the most since it is a fruited sour, and it's at 6.7%, and it's for International Women's Day, which is today. Nice sour scent. Ooh. That's really good. Very sour. The touch of lemon comes through very strong. I really enjoy this. I would give this an 8. And the fruit touch is really good too. Delicious. Wow. It's almost lemonade-y. This is the Speed of Dark at 4.8%. It's a Czech style dark lager. A nice rich coffee scent to it. I like it. It's not super heavy, but it has a nice, simple, clean flavor. It's kind of what I wanted the ale to be, though. A little bit more of those darker notes, a little bit more body to it. These were my 3 selections for the flight, and as you can tell, probably by now, the other 3 are Brian's, which are a lot more IPA based. So let's get into those as well. First up is Friends of Friends, which is an extra pale ale. This is at 5.6%. It smells like an extra pale ale. Very hoppy, a little bit bitter, no sweetness to it at all. Nice and floral. I do like the clearness of it actually. Not my style, but I'd probably give this a 7.5. I thought it was really good. And at 6.9%, this is Why Won't Space, which is a New Zealand style IPA. It should have notes of passion fruit and grapefruit besides being super hoppy with a few different hop variants in there. Ooh, that smells bitter. It's a lot less bitter than I thought. The fruit really cancels out the bitterness. I'm getting a lot more grapefruit than passion fruit. This actually caught me by surprise. I didn't expect to like this one at all. I'd give that a 7.5. And lastly is the Sear, which is the Strata edition, and it's coming in at 7.2%. This also smells really hoppy and bitter, but it is not a hazy. Not my favorite either. I do understand what it's trying to do for this style of beer, so I can't fault it. I'd probably give this a 6 just based on personal preference. Overall, I think my winners has to be Pucker Up. And then I also like the Speed of Dark, which is the Czech Dark Lager. Pretty much what I expected I liked. I liked a couple surprises here and there, but overall a pretty strong showing from Goose Island. Let's show Brian's taste test now and see what he actually thinks of the beer.
Now let's see what I think of what we got going on here. First up again, it was the Lancelot Red. It's got a nice medium sort of bite to it on the tongue. It tastes like a lager. I don't know about the Irish Pale so much, but that's okay. Not my favorite style, as you know. I would say that would be a 6. Next up is Pucker Up. This was Brett's favorite. So let's have a go. Oh, that smells good. Ooh, that's got a great bite on the tongue. Great flavor. I understand why he likes that. 7. And the Speed of Dark. It's got a nice taste to it as well. I would say a 6.5 on that one. Next up, we have Friends of Friends. Oh, lots of flavor and not heavy. That's great. 7.5. All right, the one I'm looking forward to, I like my hazies. This is Why Won't Space. It definitely fills the mouth. Great taste. A little bitter. A little bit of a bite there. Not as floral as I was expecting, but that's quite nice. I was expecting it to be a little bit better. I would say a 7 on that. And finally, the Sear Strata Edition. Ooh, that's nice and clean. Not too bitter. Not too hoppy. It is a West Coast style, which typically are very hoppy and have a lot of bite to it. That one, not as much. This one might be my favorite. I'd say 7.5.
And it is still chilly here in Chicago because you know how the Midwest spring can get, but Goose Island's patio in the spring and summer months, even fall, is beautifully right on the river. And since we've been here last, they do have a fully enclosed portion, so that must be really nice that they have access to it almost in any weather. So we'll definitely have to be back and check that out because it was really nice sitting and seeing the skyline. Goose Island is known for a few things. They do have like their flagships that are pretty widespread, like the Green Line or 312. Or on the opposite spectrum, because those are more lagers, pilsners, that sort of thing, they're also known for their Bourbon County Stouts, which they release a set of them every year for Black Friday / Thanksgiving. And at their Fulton Market location, they do like a big tasting day called Prop Day that we've done before, that you get a bunch of tickets that you can trade in for tasters, which is a lot of fun, but it is on the pricier side for that event. And each bottle can range usually from $15 up to $40. With the ticket to that event, you do get a to-go box of usually 4 to 6, depending on the lottery system and what that year is. That is included in the price, so that helps out a little bit. I think it's a little too expensive for the beer, in my opinion, but I'm not the biggest stout person overall, so take that with a grain of salt, or, well, should I say salt shed. With that event, there is a small chance that you do get some of their reserves or retired bottles of stout. Usually that is like another ticketed event at that event that you almost have to buy a raffle ticket, but you are automatically getting an extra beer outside of your allotment. It's kind of fun people watching at that event, seeing everyone get excited, especially when a big release happens. It's kind of almost like watching someone play the slots, but everyone is a winner to some extent. And just a touch more information about the backstory of Goose Island. It's actually named after a man-made island here in Chicago that is close by. Originally was mainly just for geese, essentially, and birds like that. It had some immigrants working and living on it too, but then it got more converted into condos and buildings with some shops in it. The original owner was inspired when he went to Europe, because in the UK he really loved British pub culture, and he wanted to bring that idea and vibe into the States. So that's why he originally created Goose Island. And with that, they do distribute, I believe, in almost all 50 states of the US and even in the UK. So Goose Island's international and doing very well. I really do like the aesthetic and the vibe here between the almost airport ticker board that I really enjoy, the wood paneling on the walls, the cool industrial lighting, and being able to see the tanks themselves makes a really interesting feel between brew pub, but still warm, inviting, and sleek. That's all of our tasters finished. And whenever the waitress comes back around, really no rush on that, we'll put in a food order. And I think we have a game plan for our next round. Brian's gonna grab 3 more tasters, and I'm really interested in something that they only have in cans, so I'll get a full pour of that and just kind of collectively share everything like we did with this set of 6. So I got a full pour of the vinyl. Normally I don't try to get things out of cans at the brewery, I just prefer things in kegs, but when I see a Saison, I feel like I have to try it. And this one is at 6.7%. Ooh, it has a good sweetness funk to it that I'm looking forward to. Has that weird, funky, classic Saison with a touch of fruited sweetness. I really enjoy this. It almost reminds me of Is Was Brewing. I think Is Was did their Saisons better. Go watch that video. But I really do enjoy this. I think this is my favorite beer of the night. I would give this, personally, an 8.5. It gives that craft brew vibes that I really enjoy. I don't normally get this from a big name brewery. I'm impressed, especially with it being out of the can. This is an Irish style dry stout at 3.8%. I am not quite sure how to say it because I don't speak Irish. Looking at it again, it is Roisin Dub would be my guess. It smells like a stout, not quite coffee. I'm worried that it's gonna be really thin based on just scent alone. It's a little Guinnessy for me. I don't want to say watery. The flavor isn't bad besides stout. I get why they made it. I get why people drink it. Would I drink more than another sip? No, I would probably give this a 5 personally. This is Hall & Oates, which is a 6.1% ABV, which is an oatmeal stout. Makes sense for the name. This smells way more robust, a little bit more of a deeper, richer, complex flavor, especially on the coffee notes. I'm disappointed in it. I think it reads a little too thin on the palate. I don't get a whole lot of flavor from it. Yes, I could identify it as a stout. I'd probably give that a 5, maybe even a 4.5. Brian also got a new heavy, which only comes in this size pour, which I believe is 6 ounces versus the 3 that we've been getting, which it's at 11%, so a little bit on the heavier side, hoping that comes with a little bit more thickness for mouthfeel. Ooh, this has a good sweet vanilla cream to it. I think this is gonna be the winner for the stouts. I mean this in a good way, even though I'm lactose intolerant. Chocolate milk. It's thicker, richer, almost a frothiness to it, really good coffee. I think if you're gonna get any of these 3 that Brian got, go for this one. It's gonna be worth your time and your money a little bit more. I'd probably give this an 8.
So Brett thinks this one's the best of the night. It's the Saison. Ooh, that's very smooth, fruity, a little bit of that oak flavor in there from the barrel aging. That is very nice. I see why you like this. 7.5, that's great. Irish dry. It's got good flavor, but like you said, it is kind of watery. I mean, good flavor though, so that's nice. Yeah, it's Guinnessy. 4.5. On to the oatmeal stout. You're kind of right, Brett. That, even though it's a higher ABV, it's got more of a bite on the tongue, but it's got less flavor than the first one. I would rate that one, that's kind of a letdown actually, so I'm gonna say that's a 4. That's not as good as the other one, even though higher ABV. And on to the Imperial Barrel Age. Chocolatey, covers everything in the mouth. That's smooth. That's quite nice. I wish it was a little bit more sweet, but I think it's a pretty good stout. If you want sweet ones, then you need to look at the Bourbon County variants. There usually is a sweet one in the lineup every year. I would give that one a 6.5. Now, let's eat.
And this is Brian's pot pie. And this is my chicken sandwich and fries. I know the lighting is not the best, but this is my gochujang chicken sandwich. A lot of sauce. It has pickles, some coleslaw, and Japanese mayo on it. It's my favorite thing that they have here. Delicious, well worth it, and I think this is the go-to food if you come here. I absolutely demolished my food. As you can probably see, I enjoyed it. Always love their chicken sandwich. I would probably rate it an 8.5 to a 9. The chicken is a nice size. The sauce is amazing. I love Japanese mayo. And with that little bit of vegetables, cooling it down that little bit. It's not super spicy, but it does have a little heat to it. The fries, they're fine. Nothing to really write home about. I'd probably give those a 6.5. Decent enough portion. I really enjoyed it. I also had a bite of Brian's pot pie. The filling, very good. I thought the chicken was really nice, but I'm still gonna give it to the chicken sandwich for what you should get here. It has really cleared out here, which was kind of interesting. There's seats at the bar and open picnic style tables. And we are wrapping up dinner, just going to sip on the remaining of our drink before we head out of here for the night. I had a really good time overall, enjoyed the beers and everything else, and arguably Goose Island is a Chicago staple, and so is their tap room. So if you are ever in this area, please stop by. It's a lot of fun. Again, I am not sponsored by any of the places that I visit, but this has been Brett and Coach visiting Goose Island Brew Pub. Don't forget to like, comment down below what your favorite style of beer is, or if you've tried Goose Island, and please hit the subscribe button to keep following me on my travels and adventures. Otherwise, I will see you next time in Coach.